Welcome to another thrilling edition of PremierTwo. My name is Peter. We are in Koenji Station. This is going to be a short stream, but I wanted to get one more Walkin Talk on the road. We're going to walk to Akasaka, and I'm going to meet my friend, teacher Chris, and we're going to have ourselves catch up, which I haven't seen him since his birthday. Follow me. I'm the main character. I don't like this. I'm putting it back on my chest. Okay, never doing that again. I don't like looking at myself in public. I'm hoping that, as always, the emphasis today...
You boys doing well. Thanks for another Walkin Talk.
Thank you very much, Geralt. I realized since the cyclothon, I've been distracting myself with an immense amount of streaming, working, behind-the-scenes stuff, planning, and I had not left my house in a week. It was Sunday when we got back around this time from the Walkin Talk. This is legitimately the first time I've been away from my local area since the cyclothon ended. And the next 3 days, I pretty much have booked out a lot of plans, much to my wife's dismay. It's basically, I've got, tonight I'm meeting Chris, not Chris Broad, but Chris teacher, and tomorrow I have a social gathering that I need to look forward to, and then on Thursday I think I'm gonna catch a ball game with my good friend Cryptic, who won the charity auction, of the misfortune of hanging out with me. That's gonna be awesome. Is his name teacher? Or no, his name's not like Wilco teacher. It's he's an English teacher that I've known since I worked at Interac. If you've ever taught English in Japan, you know that Interac can make you some lifelong friends in some absolute hardest times. So Chris and I became good mates through teaching at the same branch of Yokohama, and we did high school together. I was the head teacher and he was my subordinate. Something I like to bring up every time we meet. And we became, when I moved to a private school in Meguro, Chris was kind enough to tell me, hey man, if you ever get an opportunity to have another person, could you please keep me in mind as another teacher, because I'd like to join where you work. And I said, absolutely, brother. And then I had 17 other people ahead of him, but they were all happy with their position. So I finally told Chris, hey, we have an opening. Do you want to come work with me? And he did, right around COVID, because one of our other teachers, right when COVID hit, he took the last flight out of Japan and just, ooh, there's a little Ian Green path. Don't mind if I do. Okay, this green path, hold on a minute, guys. Says we can follow this for a little bit. This is very beautiful. Hey, real life graphics. So the guy left on the last flight out, left his apartment, my TV I'd sold him, and so we were down a man. So this guy Maurice and I were covering all of his lessons, and the school finally said, yeah, we have room for another teacher. So we hired Chris, and it was so good, man. It was so awesome. Finally, after teaching for 8 years, I had right across from me at my cubicle, or our teacher's room, was one of my best friends. So every day I went to work, I was able to talk to Chris, and we were working together, right? And so the benefit of that, which was really special, was that coincided right when I started streaming. And when I was streaming to literally one person, which was my phone account, Valabar, one of the first followers of the channel, he'd watch my stream and stuff, and I'd say like, what'd you think of Mario Maker Mondays? He's like, I don't know, man. Or I'd be like, Castlevania, that was a good stream. We had 3 viewers. He was like, looking good. And we went through all of the ups and downs of trying to figure out what streaming was like. As the streaming kept growing and getting better and better and more successful, found I was able to retire from teaching and go full-time as a streamer. And he was a big part of that. So I don't know why this conversation started or what we were talking about with Chris, but that's who I'm going to go meet. He still works at that school that I got him hired at, and still one of my best mates. Hope you're doing well, man. Sorry, been drinking at some of Rob CD's Aussie pubs. Why are you sorry? Sounds great. I hope you and Yuko. Don't tell my wife about Yuko. My wife is Yuki, mate. Oh no, don't tell her about that. Jesus, mate. You got my wife's name wrong, but I'll let it slide this time. I hope you and Yuki, R3, doing well. Best wishes for P3. I can probably can 5 make the gift for birth, but still work 9 NG on a general night walk. Stay well, Pete. U0R as good as need to. Are you talking in Leet speak? I haven't seen Leet speak in forever. That's based. All right, sirens if you're fat. All right, there you go. This is your first stream in a while and you're wondering, what the hell is a Walkin Talk? Well, it's pretty much as advertised. We're walking and we're talking. The main purpose or thrust of this event is that I'm trying to get into a little bit better shape, right? I've been cutting carbs, adding protein, going on walks, calorie deficit, all the fun stuff. But I also like showing you guys the less shown parts of Japan. So, I mean, a lot of you've probably seen Shinjuku and Shibuya and Akihabara, and those are really cool places. And I still watch, like, my favorite IRL streamers like Rob and Nomadic Guy Gene, and they go to those places fairly regularly, and I always enjoy seeing that, but this is just a chance for me to do some extra stuff. The downside of the Walkin Talks is they are quite aimless. They generally we don't do cool things. So I look at it as like a 2 to 6 hour podcast where I usually complain about my taxes, which I have a complaint about, by the way. We're gonna start today's stream with Tax Talk Tuesday or whatever it is, because I am not happy, because I know that there's gonna be a unanimous agreement in this absolute ridiculous nonsense. This is so insane, by the way. I got an update from my tax people in America, which I'm paying these people an unconscionable amount of money, the likes of which I've never, like, it's an insane amount of money to help me make sure I made no mistakes, because I hadn't made mistakes on my filing. Nothing illegal. I didn't do anything like wrong, but I wanted to cross my T's and dot my I's because my income revenue streams are so different than as a teacher, right? You have like $8 from t-shirts, from Streamlabs merch, you have Twitch, you have PayPal, you have like, oh, I did a sponsored game, oh, I did NHK School Japan. There's all these different things that I felt I'm gonna f this up. So I asked for this course where I pay them a ton of money, where they help me with my past 4 years of taxes, just making sure I did everything right. And then they give me like a little crash course on, hey, when you file your taxes next year, do this in Japan first, and then all you have to do is submit that in America. And we've already been over the horrificness that is the fact that Americans get double taxed. That is stupid. That is insane. That is unethical. It is morally wrong. It is just morally bankrupt. It's disgusting. But here's the craziest part. I am being financially penalized a lot of money. For two things. Number one, so I retired as a teacher in March of 2022, and I went full-time self-employed as my status. America refuses to acknowledge partial year self-employment status, and unless you paid taxes from January to the end of December, they charge you an enormous fee. Isn't that crazy? So because of the 2.5 months officially listed as an instructor, they said, nah, you're self-employed. So, and if I had been self-employed for the entire year, $0 I would owe. But because I started in April, which is when the school year ends, and which is when the fiscal year ends in Japan pretty much, bang, it's like thousands of dollars of penalties. Now, if you think that's ridiculous, I got one more for you that's even crazier. If one of you, just one of you, can give me a compelling reason why this is okay, I will give you a VIP badge. I will give you one of the treasured VIP badges. So get ready to do your straw man arguments. Get ready to play devil's advocate. In 2021, the United States government gave all citizens a stimulus check from COVID for $1,400. Actually, I think it happened twice, but one was in 2020, one was in 2021. I opted not to take the free money. I felt in a stupid altruistic way that I'm in Japan. I think there's people who could use this more. And am I even eligible? I doubt it. I'm a foreigner in a different country. So I didn't sign up for it or accept it. Didn't even take the money. I willfully and kindly passed on $1,400. I have to now pay back $1,400 to the United States government for not taking the COVID stimulus. What? What is that? Like, are you kidding me? I don't even live in America. I don't even have an American bank account. And I saw somebody say they lied to me and they said that you legally had to take it. That's crazy. They didn't give me the rationale. The American government doesn't do that. You didn't accept money you were legally entitled to. You know what though? I'm totally okay with that part. Like, I'm okay with that. I didn't take the money. I just don't think it's fair that I'm being charged for it. Like, I totally am not mad that I didn't get a stimulus check. I'm mad that 4 years later, I'm being charged for it. Any argument that you could say like, well, you know, the filing of you not taking it is whatever. These are all surface level terrible arguments. And honestly, like my coworker took it and everyone made fun of him. All the Japanese staff, all of our American friends, he was like, shit man, that's my money. And I was like, dude, you've lived in Japan for 17 years. That's ridiculous. He's like, nah man, free money is free money. And boy, do I regret mocking him. He was so based. He was so smart. I am the idiot.
Hello, Peter. What is life?
Life is a series of getting f***ed by the government. I am in the process of removing myself from the nation of America, but not for tax reasons. I repeat into the microphone, I am not leaving America due to being double taxed. It's for totally other political and social reasons that I'll justify in front of a United States Embassy employee. You can't leave the country for tax reasons, in case you were wondering. That's illegal. They consider it criminal behavior. I pay 2 full governments in full. I'm like the super citizen of global Earth. In fact, when I was a high school student, we were the Shawnee Mission North Indians. That was our team mascot. And regrettably, looking back, this is definitely an oops, ignorant. It wasn't like my choice or anything, but like every year, ever since the school started, we had a mascot. We had 2. We had a princess and an Indian chief that were elected by the student body. And inevitably, it was always just some jock white guy that had to wear the full regalia and they'd go to all the games and they would cheer. And I think around 2012 or 13, they changed it to the bison, which I think is a cooler mascot, by the way. Like we're the Shawnee Mission North bison. I think that was a case of accidental racism or cultural appropriation, because I don't think there was ever any ill will involved with the student body. If anything, we thought it was really cool that of the 5 Shawnee Mission schools, we were the Indian representative, I guess. Yeah, we've also decimated the bison population, so maybe they've changed it for a 3rd time. But yeah, I remember when I grew up, that was the mascot. So anyway, I'm renouncing, but you still have to pay a pretty hefty exit fee, and they still do 2 more additional years of taxes, I've been told. So lots of fun stuff to look forward to. So my child will be a dual citizen until I think they turn 18, maybe 20. But at a certain age of adulthood, they have to choose which country they permanently want to be represented by. And so when we have the baby, we have 6 months to go to the embassy to register it as a social security number and those things. Now, the United States and Japan and many other countries have an exclusion rate of income. So as a teacher, I was perpetually so broke that it didn't really matter how much money I made. And even though I'm not particularly close to the exclusion amount, the issue more is in line with how many different revenue streams I have as a streamer and how the United States government and Japan sees me as an employee. With a teacher, everything was very straightforward and all of my filings were very easy. But here, there's a whole new kind of bracket confusion with being self-employed, I guess. I just thought it was silly that I was double charged for this COVID thing. I think dual citizenship is kind of cool though, because I intend to teach my child a lot about American history and about my family, but I hope that no matter what their passport or their immigration status says, I hope that they do have an appreciation of the United States that I also like. So here's the thing, I don't think I'll teach them about the downfall of America, but I still think America has a lot of really great benefits. Primarily, I think like if this country of the United States was a Minecraft zone, I think it's like the best biomes you could ever have. It is a beautiful national country. It is so much natural beauty to it that I do want to impart. And there's a lot of other cool stuff that I like about the USA, just not a lot that I want to stay there. Well, Norway is very beautiful too, I've been told. But America does have that really cool mountains, Appalachia, deserts, beaches, plains, hills, valleys, the Grand Canyon, the national parks. It's got a whole bunch of variety. It might not beat Norway on like a singular spectacle or like New Zealand, but in terms of sheer variety, you guys could have like the best map ever. I want them to know that America has a lot of good qualities too, which can be lost right now. Or I'll just make it all up. I'll just tell them a fabricated story, and then when they're 20, they'll be reading Narnia and be like, wait a minute, America's not found behind a wardrobe. He just stole everything from this book. Okay, we got kind of off topic, I suppose. We've already been talking for like an hour. Now it just sounds like a political stream. So that was an accident. Ah, look at this. The future site of the PremierTwo empire. Yeah. Oh, there's a hat in there. I don't think I need that much space, but very nice. Wow, Japan. I saw an article about Japan Education Department plans to eliminate all outdoor activities for elementary schools by 2060 due to extreme heat. That's fascinating to me. I don't know if it'll be possible or if likely, but it's good forward thinking because school here is year round, right? In America, you have June, July, and half of August off with summer vacation, but in Japan, it's just year round school. They still do a lot of stuff. 2060 though, even my kid will be 25. They could be a teacher by that point. In 2060, my kid will be as old as I was when I moved to Japan. No, they'll be 35. I would be 76. I will be 76 years old and still going live. And I'd say like, welcome to another thrilling edition of PremierTwo. Today we're going to finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. You'd be playing Final Fantasy 70? Oh, stop. That's ridiculous. At their current pace, I'll be playing Final Fantasy 19. I'll be maybe starting my playthrough of GTA 6 or Half-Life 3. Rob will be younger than my child. He'll be 29. Rob will still be walking the same cool roads and getting brain juice and pizza off the floor. He'll be younger than my kid. I'm currently watching while listening to Japanese lo-fi beats in the background. I got back from Japan no less than 2 weeks ago, and this Walkin Talk is really helping with my post-Japan blues. Aside from the teaching, what's your #1 reason not to live in Japan? Please try and put me off moving there. Personally speaking, I like teaching. It had its negatives, just like every job. I don't know if I'd want to do it forever, but I was ready to commit to a life of education and pedagogy because Japan's not a perfect place. Far from it. I would say some of the negatives include an absolutely brutal work-life balance. If you are a part of a regular company or if you somehow ingratiate yourself truly into Japanese culture, because it is very, very, very hard to balance your family life and your family life, which is being an employee. So expect a lot of overtime, unpaid, non-holidays, 6-day work weeks, packed commutes, if that's not your thing. If you're not a big fan of drinking, it can be a little bit challenging to enjoy Japan to its fullest because a lot of the business deals, a lot of your inner communication with your team and with your co-workers is done through nomikais. Now, you don't have to drink. I would be lying if I think that they would be a little surprised, but it's not like you're not going to lose your job. They're not going to dislike you, but that is a chance for all wrongs to be righted while communicating through communication. If your housing situation, if you've gotten used to having a living room and a den and a foyer and a bedroom and a spare room, you can kiss that shit right goodbye. If you're a materialistic person who likes to collect things, that could be challenging. Like your houses here are going to be really, if you're in Tokyo, really expensive, but also very small. Personally, all these negatives that I said, other than the work one, I like. I like public transportation. I like the cramped living quarters. I like drinking with my coworkers and seeing the mask come off, so to speak. I like this city in particular is clean, it's safe, it's awesome in scale. It's a busy city, but you can take your time with it. There's the 2 different perspectives that I can think of. Cigarette smoke has gotten better. Like it used, when I first came here in 2002, it was brutal. But when they had the Olympics, they made a bunch of laws saying, hey, try not to smoke outside and you can't smoke in establishments. But smoking's not as bad. But again, if you like the drinking part, there's a high chance that a lot of the places you're going to go to also include the smoking part. Pete, how do I convince my hubby to move to Japan? We visited for the first time last month. Well, find yourself a hubby who will move. That's my, I'm kidding. The reality, what I would say is, if they enjoyed it, look at the logistics, I think, here's my advice. I think too many people create reasons in their mind not to move because of the unknown. They think, well, it's just, I'm away from my family, or I don't know, it's just so much moving, and how am I gonna get this stuff there? Those questions will be answered in the process of actually pursuing what you want. And another thing is, a lot of you fall into the same category as me, and it's not a bad thing, but I think most families would be A, sad to see you go, but more importantly, they would be B, thrilled that you're doing something for the betterment of your life, and they're gonna be nothing but supportive. It's not the last time you're gonna see your family, it's not the last time you're gonna have a chance to interact with them. Those things kind of sort themselves out. And the other sad thing, a lot of those friends that we have that we think are like our best mates, brother, the minute that you're out of sight and out of mind, that everyone moves on. It's pretty rare to have a friend group who actually legitimately is always on call. I have those friends in America, but a lot of them were convenience friends, I found out. The real ones will keep in contact, it's true. And the other thing is, it's not a bad thing too. Like, convenience friends are cool and all, but the way I always looked at it, and I have like an 80% success rate on this, I was wrong about 20% of the time, is imagine you're in a situation, like let's say you live in America. Let's say you live in America, and imagine a situation where your car or you are dropped off somewhere that's 2 or 3 hours from your home by driving. I'm sure there's at least 4 or 5 people that would immediately come to mind, maybe just 2 or 3, that you know would come and pick you up with 0 questions asked, even if it was 2:30 in the morning. Those are your best friends. And those are the people who are they want you to move, they want an excuse to come visit, those are gonna be your mates. I mean, your friends would ask, sure, they'd be like, dude, it's 2:30, what the fuck? But if you said, I really need your help right now, I'm stuck in 2.5 hours away, and I have no cash, I have nothing, can you please come get me? They'd probably bitch about it, but they'd be there. And again, I'm not a smart person. I want that to be made very clear. I think that sometimes it's a tendency as a streamer, you feel like you have a platform, so you give things as fact or as like objectively right, but that's not the case here. I'm just telling you from my experience, right? If this doesn't line up with your opinions, then that totally makes sense. But I love my friends and family that I had to leave in America, but most of my time I was waking up in my home, going to my jobs, doing my thing. And I would say like 95% of my life enjoyment is the surroundings in which I've put myself in, because that's gonna be like what I experience the most. And same reason I always invested in a good bed or a good chair for gaming or something like that. So if you wake up in Japan every day and you're like, damn, this place is fucking cool as hell, I love this, that's gonna have some unholy benefit on your mental state, because just being where you live and like being excited to be there and having an active part of it made such a big difference for me. I was working 2 jobs in Kansas City at Chipotle and Applebee's. And of course I've had other jobs, and I liked some of the places I lived there, but it got to the point where my mind was always drifting towards, I wish I was somewhere else, I wish I was doing something else. And it took me a while to just make that happen. But yeah, there you go. I've had enough talk of taxes in life today. I have this unlucky situation where right where I walked, my underwear made this move where it kind of got bungled up in my, and now I really just need a full reset of that situation, and each step just sucks more and more. And I don't even know how we're gonna get out of that. So a lot of people say that oh man, I miss this. I miss Shinjuku. You know what's funny is that the longer I've lived here, I still like coming to Sanchome, which is just over that way, but I don't come here actually as much ever, unless it's exclusively to see a movie or to hang out with friends. It's not a place that I would willingly go to unless I had a reason. Crossing the street, getting a coffee. I forgot that it's Golden Week for sure. But hey, we're getting a little bonus stream in today. That's good content for free. You guys get a free Walkin Talk. I get to hang out with some people as I walk from Koenji to Akasaka. Winner, winner. Kekko desu. Domo. It's kekko desu. Domo, arigatou gozaimasu. You know, Starbucks, the coffee is not really to my exact liking, so I have to mix it up a little bit. Normally I just get black coffee, but I find the taste a little lacking, so I have to throw in a couple creams here. As a tourist, would you use a Starbucks? How would you order with limited Japanese English? You ready? Here's an easy one. They're gonna smile at you and ask you what you want, because you'll be in a line. When it's your turn, they're gonna say something like, Yokoso, or irashaimase. Whenever they stop talking, say the size of the coffee you want, which is toru, grande, venti. Those are words you should already know if you go to Starbucks regularly. And then you throw in kohi. And if you want ice, you throw in the word ice. Like if they say, whatever they say, blah, 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 and there's a pause, go, grande ice kohi, onegai shimasu. Done. I'm gonna put my phone away so I can enjoy a sip or two. All right. Have a happy golden week to all of you. Kanpai. Is there a fact on why you're not going back to the United States? I mean, it's pretty easy. I'm married and I have a child coming. I think that I've lived here for 15 years, most of my adult life. So my baby, not mine, our baby will be born in about 2 months. I didn't know that people were pregnant for 10 months. That's been the biggest revelation from 2 days ago. All my life, I've heard that women get pregnant for 9 months. I had no idea it was 9 months and 3 weeks. I feel like that was the biggest trick ever pulled on, like, it would just say 10 months then. That's like, everybody believes 9 months. And then the stork comes and delivers a baby. But Yuki is 8 months pregnant now. And that makes sense because her tummy's huge. And she sends me these updates on her phone that have like a little Japanese drawing of what the baby is looking like around this time of the pregnancy. Right now, the little baby inside has like hair and stuff. It has hair and arms and legs and ears and eyes. It's like, it's happening. It's turning into a little person. So the baby is supposed to be due on July 4th, which is a great cosmic irony given how much I hate the United States. Isn't that wild? That is actually the most beautiful form of irony. The main thing though is that none of you guys are gonna be godparents because I'm choosing just the most successful friends I have so I can get the best gifts. That's my cheat code. So the godfather will be like Connor, Chris, Ludwig. Godmother is like Geary, Mouse. You guys, I mean, look, if I didn't promise you, the thing is I can cheat code my way to getting cool gifts for my child. You know what, Chris would not give presents. I think he actually would. I'm not actually gonna bother these guys with the expectation of making them get gifts, but I think that Connor certainly would give good gifts. And I think Chris, in a weird way, I feel like he would be very doting. I think that he would be interested in saying like, oh, how's the baby? They're scary from ages 1 to 7, but I quite like them after that. For your birthday, I got you a JJ eSIM, Japan's most reliable eSIM. We're 24 minutes away, which means it's like this part of the map was foggy, and now that I'm walking it, slowly more of my map is becoming uncovered. What is this place? I actually don't even know. I think this might be a Family Mart. Oh, you can go in. Yeah, it says the entrance is over here. Is this the entrance? Do we teleport when we walk inside? And we just go like... Okay, we gotta go though. Hey, just want to say thanks for inspiring me to try streaming in my 30s. I just hit affiliate, and I wouldn't probably have even tried if I didn't find your streams. Thanks for the positive outlook in entertainment. Keep inspiring people. Thank you, Coastal Nerd. If you guys want to check out an up-and-coming streamer, go give him a look. I cannot confirm nor deny what his content is like, but if he was inspired by me, it could go a lot of different ways. Well, congratulations on affiliate, big man.
More than likely he thought, well, if this guy can do it, anyone can do.
Hey man, honestly, jokes aside, if that's the vibe I give, yes. Because masters of their craft, when you watch a professional actor do his thing, they do it so well that it looks easy. It comes across so magnificent that you feel like you're there and just talking to a regular person. So if somehow I give the impression that streaming is something that anyone could do, because I think streaming is pretty tough. I'm not gonna say it's the hardest job ever. It's a challenge in its own right. Hey man, sorry to bother you. Just wanted to ask, how do you deal with saying goodbyes? Well, to who? Usually if I have to say goodbye in a like... Okay. I actually got to go soon, so I wanted to show you. Ooh, look, romantique. This is kind of neat. This is like right near Akasaka Station, where I'm meeting my friend. I kind of wish I lived in this area. This is a very international area, like Azubujuban, Akasaka. It has a nice vibe to it, and I particularly like they have these kind of cobblestones around here for their streets. Unfortunately for us guys, our stream is about to come to an end. I'm gonna go meet my buddy. It should be right around here. And I say goodbye to all of you fine folks. I hope you enjoyed the America bashing, tax speaking, game chatting, Chris Broad's housing adventure. It was a short stream, but I thought a short stream is better than no stream. Oh, fuck, man. Why would you do that?
Because you didn't tell me where you were. And I had to
You were late.
I had to snipe you.
It was like sonar. You just following my voice around here.
Well, no, I actually went on Twitch and I was like, where is this guy? And I saw you walk past a McDonald's. I was like,
damn.
Gotta be one.
I'll see you guys in a couple of days because I got the next 2 days where I gotta do some stuff. Bye.